D2 Word Life here with Eric Bischoff's biggest fanboy Riptides.
No. Just because I beat your ass with him in wrestling does not mean that I like him.
Oh, and this week, thanks to this fucker here, we're reviewing the 2003 No Way Out event.
Revenge, you stupid son of a bitch. Revenge.
Otherwise known as the event where the Triple H Scott Steiner rematch took place from the Royal Rumble 2003 event that we reviewed. Asshole.
Also, when Silvio Grenier got his contract.
Yes, but we'll talk more about that later on in the main event. But anyway, this event took place on February 23rd, 2003 at the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Montreal, where have we heard that before?
It's not like it was in our earlier reviews.
Or anything. Anyway.
And I swear nothing happened.
Anyway, this event happened during the brand split, but both brands of Raw and SmackDown were both represented here, with an attendance of 15,100. And the commentators for this event were Jonathan Coachman and Jerry Lawler for Raw, Michael Cole and Taz for SmackDown, and Jim Ross, who only commentated during the Bischoff-Austin match.
Yeah, because he had a concussion.
Oh, and also the theme song for this event was Bring Me to Life by Evanescence.
Banger!
Banger of a song. Wasted on a friggin' hype package for a crappy match.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, 2003 was the year that freaking that song first got released. Probably around the time that this pay-per-view aired. You feel old yet?
No, do you?
Well, knowing this event was like literally 21 years ago at time of recording, yes. Anyway, here we go to the main card. Shout out to the Sunday Night Heat match that took place prior to this event starting, which featured Rey Mysterio defeating Jamie Noble with Nitty at ringside.
That's what Paul said as well. He was like, oh, this guy refereed the Sunday Night Heat match.
Yeah, and Sylvain Grenier was the referee for the Sunday Night Heat match. Well, we'll get to him later on in this discussion.
I can't wait to to fucking shit on his matches that I know that you're going to make us review.
I can't think of any too good Sylvain Grenier matches. I know he had...
There was none.
I know he had, like, tag team title matches later on in this 2003 calendar year, but... yeah, I'm not too in a hurry to review those old events. But we'll get to them when we get to them.
You are.
But we'll get to them all eventually. Anyway, the opening contest officially on the 2003 No Way Out match card was Jeff Hardy going one-on-one with Chris Jericho.
A freshly turned heel Chris Jericho.
Yeah, and it was during this time that Chris Jericho was in his feud, his rivalry with Shawn Michaels at this time period. And here, and before we even get to the details of the match, here's a little fun fact. This match was originally supposed to be Jericho versus Test instead. But, I guess freaking Test and Stacy Keibler no-showed the Raw prior to this, and Test's push got freaking, canceled, and he was replacing this match by Jeff Hardy.
Well, that's because Test, got injured, I think, or something at a previous showing.
It's like, yeah, but either way, the match started off with a side headlock takeover by Jericho. Jeez, I can't talk for shit today. Well, then again, that's every day.
That's every pay-per-view review.
But then Jeff Hardy eventually got out of that headlock in the early going and then performed a back body drop followed by a head scissors onto Jericho.
You had no repute there. Okay, so you're saying it's true.
Oh, I know there's days I can't fucking talk. I mean, have you seen my content recently within the last year or so? Or ever since we started doing these reviews. And saying that I am incompetent when it comes to talking, yeah. Yeah, fuck you too. Yeah, but then eventually, after the head scissors, Jericho did manage to get control to the point where he delivered chops to Jeff in the corner. And then, yeah, but then Hardy battled back and then performed a somersault to the outside onto Jericho, which I thought was a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Then once back in the ring, then Hardy put Jericho back in the ring and performed a top rope flip onto him for 2.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a pretty impressive spot. Yeah, and then back on the outside, shortly after that, Jericho and Hardy were on the outside. Jericho actually reversed Jeff Hardy's barricade dive, catching Jeff and flinging him to the steel steps.
Yeah.
Or did Jericho simply get out of the way? Or something. I didn't jot that down, but I know Hardy ended up in the steps after that missed move.
He moved.
Yeah. Back in the ring, Jeff Hardy did try to attempt to roll up on Jericho for a count of 2, though. And then Jericho then took control over Jeff Hardy by applying like a chinlock rest hold on Jeff. And at this point, Jericho was in control. Jericho then had Jeff Hardy in the corner of the ring, right?
Yeah.
And then Jericho went for some kind of attack, but Hardy moved out of the way, which caused Jericho to crash into the ring post. And then Jeff then hit a flying forearm, and then Jericho got back in control by hitting a drop kick on Jeff, only for a 2 count. Jericho then hit a bulldog and attempted a lion salt, but that was reversed by Hardy as well, or by Jeff as well. Jeff Hardy did hit a whisper in the ring for a 2 count, but then shortly afterwards, Jericho got control by applying the walls of Jericho onto Jeff, but Jeff managed to get to the ropes. Yeah, and then Hardy ended up hitting a hip toss onto Jericho in the ring from top rope, followed by a Swanton bomb. But Jericho got his foot on the rope, thus stopping the referee's count. And then Jeff hit another drop kick on Jericho a little later on after that, sending Jericho back down. This time, Jeff Hardy then went up to the top rope, tried to hit Jericho with a Swanton bomb again, but it was reversed. Jeff Hardy missed that, but then Jericho then followed it up with a lion salt for a 2 count. And then, shortly after that, those two Jericho and Jeff Hardy managed to get Jericho perched onto the top rope. And Jeff Hardy went to go do some kind of top rope, freaking attack on Jericho, possibly a superplex or whatever it was, only for Jericho to reverse it into a power bomb from the top rope, followed by Jericho applying the walls of Jericho, which at this point Jeff Hardy was out of it and he just tapped out. He couldn't stand anymore.
No, you're forgetting that he had his hand on the rope. Jericho was supposed to break it, which he did not. He just pulled Hardy to the middle of the ring, and that gave him, because he was sitting down on it, which gave him more pressure.
Well, yeah. Well, okay, small detail like that aside, the result is still the same with Jericho winning by submission. But then after the match, Shawn Michaels came out, attacked Jericho, then Christian tried to attack Michaels, and after a little double team, Michaels got the advantage and hit a double DDT plus a sweet chin music on Christian.
First of all, Jericho still had the walls of Jericho cinched on it. The ref was trying to get him to release it. He said no. Then Michaels comes out, fucking kicks fucking Jericho in the face.
Yeah.
Then Christian comes out, beats on him. Then they do a double team after the freaking double Irish whip on the ring ropes, and fucking then Michaels returns to attack, and then fucking Jericho after the double DDT from the ring ropes. Freaking Jericho rolls out, and then Shawn Michaels freaking sweet chin music's Christian.
Yeah, that whole segment. Well, you go into more detail. I pretty much gave a not so detailed version, but that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
I think it was a good match to open the show. Yes. Is it a match that gets talked about? No, and I feel like it should get talked about more. Jeff Hardy and Chris Jericho actually had a good match here at this pay-per-view, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, and here's a little fun fact. This would be Jeff Hardy's final WWE pay-per-view appearance for over 3 years. His next one wouldn't be until Unforgiven of 2006, after a brief stay in TNA for 2 years.
Well, that was also because he got released for drug testing.
Yeah, because he refused.
He was under the influence.
And he refused to go to rehab, which is why he was fired in April of that year.
Yes.
Then Jeff Hardy went on to go to TNA and do some matches over there for 2 years, and then he came back in 2006 during the start off his second of 3 runs, as we know.
Yeah.
And plus, we already reviewed the Jeff Hardy Johnny Nitro match from Unforgiven 06 anyway. So yeah, I thought that was a good match.
But it also didn't help that his brother was being a dick to him as well, so...
Oh, but we'll get to that. Afterwards, we go backstage, where we see all 3 members of Team Angle pretty much discussing their match, saying that they didn't travel all the way to Canada to lose to 2 Canucks and a walking gorilla.
Yeah.
And pretty much gave Haas and Benjamin, and Kurt Angle gave Haas and Benjamin a prep talk saying, "We will win." And then they're like, "Okay, let's devise a game plan." And then that's when we see Evolution making their arrival to the arena. Evolution consisting of champion Triple H, Ric Flair, Orton, and Batista, and a young Orton and a young Batista.
Yeah.
And yes, the limousine was frozen because there was a blizzard happening in Montreal at that point, in where they were located.
Yeah.
And the only reason we saw Evolution arrive is just so the camera can pan and actually have a shot of Steve Austin's truck that was also parked in the garage. Parking garage, symbolizing to the people that, yep, Austin's in the building.
Dude, I saw that truck before they even fucking panned into it. I'm like, yes.
Oh, if you remember that truck, your childhood's awesome.
Do you remember any vehicle Austin drove in? Your fucking childhood was awesome.
Yeah, but then we go to the next match. We go to a match that's not so awesome. And that was the World Tag Team Championship match, pitting the World Tag Team Champions William Regal and Lance Storm against Kane and RVD. I mean, the match started off fine. I mean, there was some quick exchanges back and forth between Van Dam and Storm, including a spinning heel kick from Van Dam to Storm, plus a split-legged moonsault from RVD to Regal after Regal got the tag in.
Yeah.
But here's the scary part. Shortly after that, Kane got the tag in, and Kane went for a body slam to Regal, and William Regal landed on his head the wrong way, and he legit got concussed.
He got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. Even William Regal's gone on record saying that's what knocked him out or concussed him in this match. It was scary. Regal wasn't moving. Kane even went for a pinfall.
No, Regal was moving, but not as much. And even when he came to, he was also saying in interviews and shit, saying, "Yeah, I didn't remember the fucking match. It was like I was fucking on autopilot."
I mean, Regal eventually regained consciousness and got up, but he really didn't do much after that. Kane did pin him, but Storm had to break it up, and then Storm quickly freaking got Regal in their corner to tag out since Regal was dazed. And
he grabbed his trunks because he saw what was happening. Also, Kane pushed him into the fucking corner so he could get out. He didn't want to fucking hurt him more than what he was.
Because Kane even knew, and credit to Glenn Jacobs, okay? He knew what to do. He goes, we got to get him out of the ring. He knew the injury, and he's a professional, and Kane's a professional anyway. He identifies legit injuries when there is one. Like in this situation. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, afterwards, Storm got the tag in. Kane got his momentum back on Storm after dropping him like a sack of potatoes after holding him over his head for a press slam. To try to buy Regal time in the corner, right? Being not the legal man. Then Van Dam got the tag in and hit a top rope leg drop on the Storm. Regal then finally got in. When Regal didn't get in, then got in. Oh, fuck, I can't even fucking talk like I said. It's like Regal made the tag in.
Getting.
You are getting ridiculous. You are getting ridiculous, asshole.
Get the dildo out of your mouth.
Shave that porn stash off first.
I have a fab mustache.
Yeah, but then Regal got back in, competed some more on autopilot at this point. Van Dam did attempt to frog splash on Regal, only for Storm to block it by sending Van Dam into the barricade.
Yeah.
Then Regal on autopilot hit a back body drop to Van Dam shortly afterwards. Storm got tagged in and he DDT'd Van Dam for a 2 count. Then Van Dam freaking at one point actually hit a roll-up on Lance Storm for a 2 count. Then shortly afterwards, Van Dam tagged in Kane, who hit a flying clothesline on a dazed Regal. And he followed by a big boot to Regal as well afterwards. And Kane ended up hitting his signature sidewalk slam onto Regal for a 2 count.
The sidewalk slam was what got him back into his consciousness because he was on autopilot. And then when Kane hit that sidewalk slam, it jarred his head just a little bit, which woke him up.
Yep. But at this point, it was near the end of the match. Kane did attempt to go for a choke slam onto Regal after that sidewalk slam, but then Storm jumped on Kane's back and turned Kane's mask completely to the side, thus blinding Kane, because this was back when Kane was masked before his unmasking.
Yeah.
And then
this is 2 years before his unmasking, or 3 years.
No, this was the same year as his unmasking, just 5 months earlier. See June 23rd, 2003 episode of Raw, and that's when his unmasking was. But then like Van Dam ended up getting pushed into a blinded Kane, and then Van Dam accidentally chokeslammed his own partner, enabling Regal to pin Van Dam for a 3 count.
Yep.
So the winners of the match was Regal and Storm retain the World Tag Team Championships. Yeah, and I forgot to ask you this. Your thoughts on that first match with Jeff Hardy and Chris Jericho?
Okay.
And your thoughts on this match with Regal and Storm defeating Kane and Van Dam to retain the tag titles? Knowing what we know about Regal's scary head injury.
Yeah.
So your thoughts on this tag match here?
Snorefest.
I mean, I don't really blame anyone involved because it was one person that totally was dazed and confused for most of it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's not freaking Regal's fault. That's not Kay's fault. It was just an accident that happened. Of course, then we go backstage to where Matt Hardy was getting interviewed. Matt Hardy had Shannon Moore by his side.
His Mattitude follower.
And he was talking about Mattitude.
The little MFer.
He was talking about the power of Mattitude and how he lost 20 pounds in like 2 weeks.
10 pounds.
Or 10 pounds in 2 weeks. But then that's when Matt spotted Jeff in the back, walking by. Then he went up to his brother Jeff. He goes, if you weren't so wrapped up in your imagination and continued to be a Mattitude follower, then you wouldn't be losing all your matches these days.
First, he's like, oh, you would have... First of all, he's just fucking going off and shit saying, oh, it was hard to lose 10 pounds, but with Shannon Moore by my side, it was fine. That was his little MFer.
Yep.
And then he sees his brother fucking walking back there. And he's like, oh, if you weren't so stuck in your imagination.
And continue to be a Mattitude follower.
You would have continued being a Mattitude follower like all those years before. And this is after he had beat the shit out of his brother and fucking ran off like a little bitch.
Yes.
And fucking he fucking said, and then he's like, oh, you could be winning your matches unlike losing them every week. And then Jeff Hardy got fed up with that and slapped him right across the fucking face.
Yeah, I was about to say, yep, all that shit talk resulted in Jeff just bitch slapping his brother. No, you would think this would lead to like an interpromotional WrestleMania match between the two brothers, but nope, that did not happen. However, we would get that Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy match at WrestleMania and at WrestleMania 25, and yeah, that wasn't very great. But I guess we'll review that when we get to that event.
Well, that's because Matt Hardy didn't want to face his brother. He was a bitch.
But speaking of Matt Hardy, the next match on the card was Billy Kidman defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Matt Hardy, version 1 with Shannon Moore in his corner. Oh yeah,
and I just liked how it said Matt Hardy version 1. Matt Hardy, Matt Fat. Matt Hardy does not like ice and snow.
Yeah, Matt Fat. Matt is annoyed by snow and ice. And another Matt Fact. Matt takes hot tea with milk and sweetener.
That was redundant as fuck.
Okay, if you remember that freaking entrance by Matt Hardy, you're an OG.
Well, he used that same fucking entrance music. He just got rid of the Mattitude version 1 shit.
Exactly. I'm talking about, you know, the whole thing with the Matt Facts and everything looking like an old computer screen.
Yes.
Yeah, if you remember that, Matt Hardy's entrance like that, then you're an OG.
He had that from, I think, 2001? No.
2002, 2003.
Mid-2002 to the ending of 2003?
3, 4, whatever.
Somewhere in 2004, almost 2005.
Yeah. But the match started off with an arm wringer freaking hold by Matt Hardy on to Kidman, while Taz and Michael Cole talk about how Matt's been laying off the banana juice. You love that banana juice, don't you?
I know you love that peely juice, don't you?
For some reason, I just felt like to include that because that kind of made me laugh. Hearing that.
Well, he was also saying, oh, he uses butter oil or butter, puts it all the way on his skin and makes him sweat. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you talking about butter?
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Now you're talking about bananas.
Anyway, there was an arm drag by Matt Hardy taking control, then Matt followed it up with a body slam. Yeah, Matt hit a body slam on the freaking Kidman, which he followed up with flexing like Scott Steiner.
Well, he also did the fucking jumping jacks like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he did the jumping jacks after the arm drag takedown. And I'm just
He's like, oh, look at me. I can do it. I'm like, really?
that sounds like you
Now
being
you're
extra
stealing
douchey.
fucking Scott Steiner's gimmick.
Gimmick infringement, am I right?
I'm surprised he didn't sue him for gimmick infringement at that point, because that was literally his whole thing, is where he would do the jumping jacks and fucking the push-ups and shit in the ring after he'd do his moves.
Yeah, and then Kidman freaking followed that up with arm drags on a Hardy, followed by a head scissors. And then Matt Hardy then threw Kidman's spine first into the ring post on the outside.
After they did the waist lock thing, where they would fucking try to toss each other over their waists and shit.
Yep.
And he tossed him over the rope and literally pushed Kidman into the fucking
Ring
post, which hit his back and his head.
Yep. Yeah, and then back in the ring, Matt Hardy did pull off a leg drop for a 2 count.
Yep.
And it was at this time when the commentators were talking, and apparently Matt Hardy uses nut butter.
That's what, yes, nut butter.
What the fuck? Banana juice, nut butter? This is weird.
I'm like, first you're talking about banana juice, and now you're talking about nut butter that he rubs all over his body to make him sweat more.
And of course, Shannon Moore's people, they're called morons. Like, what the hell? It's like nut butter, banana juice. There's some innuendo going on here, and it doesn't sound right.
He likes to rub nut butter.
We all know you love that nut butter.
Butter from your nut.
We all know you love that nut butter.
I know you like that nut butter.
Of course, Matt Hardy then hit a neck breaker on the freaking Kidman for a 2 count. And then shortly afterwards, Matt Hardy followed up with a side effect, only for Kidman to reverse that attempt into a 2 count. Hardy kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, then Matt then hit a neck breaker for a count of 2. And the commentators are once again going off, talking about how Shannon Moore is addicted to that banana juice. I'm like, shut up about the banana juice.
Yep.
God. Yeah, then Matt Hardy hit a ricochet on the freaking gang Kidman that resulted in another 2 count. Yeah, and then Kidman freaking came back, hitting Matt Hardy in the back of the head with an enziguri, having both men be down. Then Matt eventually gained control, and he hit a leg drop from the second rope to Kidman. And then followed by a standing drop kick to Kidman as well. Matt Hardy shortly afterwards, Matt Hardy did hit a side effect on the Kidman, only for a count of 2. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then freaking Kidman battled back, hitting Hardy with a bulldog, looking like he knocked him out, but that didn't work. That didn't work because shortly afterwards, Kidman got up to the top rope to do a shooting star press, only for Matt Hardy to get out of the way, which obviously meant Kidman ate nothing but ring canvas.
Yeah, well, they called it the prettiest move.
Yeah, the prettiest shooting star press or whatever.
The prettiest move in all of wrestling.
Yep. Yeah, and then Matt Hardy managed to hit a twist of fate on a Kidman, resulting in a 2 count. And at this point, Matt Hardy was getting frustrated. At this point. Yeah, and then Kidman battled back, got Matt Hardy down, went to the top rope. Shannon Moore ended up distracting Kidman long enough for Matt Hardy to climb up the rope as well, and hit a top rope twist of fate to Kidman for the 3 count.
Yeah.
with the result being that Matt Hardy won the Cruiserweight Championship on this night.
Yep.
So your thoughts on this Kidman Matt Hardy match?
Yeah, it was good. It was the start. It was the start of his kind of downfall after he was spiraling out of control.
And apparently this match was also sponsored by Banana Juice.
Yes, your favorite.
No, that's you. And of course, after that match, we go backstage out in the parking lot area once again, where Edge was found unconscious. Looked like he got attacked or something like that. They didn't say who it was, but they improvised. They made it known that he got attacked by somebody, probably Team Angle, but in reality, this was actually done to write Edge off of TV to have neck surgery that would keep him out of action for over a year at that point. So yeah, Edge was originally supposed to be the third man in that 6-man tag match that ended up just being a handicap match.
Yeah, he just got attacked by Angle and fucking all that before the match happened.
Yeah, but like I said, that was used to write Edge off of TV so he can have neck surgery, which ultimately cost him to retire 8 years later, only to come back in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Anyway, the next match on the card was The Undertaker versus The Big Show. Big Show had Paul Heyman in his corner. And in this one, we'll briefly talk about, the video hype package leading up to this one, because this was the one where Big Show was playing mind games with Taker by sending him all those big freaking box gifts.
Well, also, it was 4 months prior was when he attacked The Undertaker and threw him off the damn stage.
Yeah, it was 5 months prior, the October before this event, where Big Show knocked The Undertaker threw The Undertaker off the stage. This was shortly after Taker's Hell in a Cell match with Lesnar.
Yeah.
And that was actually done to write Taker off of TV so he can go be with his wife when she gave birth to his first daughter.
Yeah.
But then The Undertaker returned 4 months later at the Royal Rumble, thus setting up this match with the Big Show. And this one played mind games with all those crates and gifts that the Big Show was giving to The Undertaker, including one with Brother Love in it, which was The Undertaker's first manager. And, and then freaking Undertaker beat the heck out of, gave freaking, Brother Love a chokeslam there. Then one of the weeks, freaking Brian Kendrick came out singing he's really, really sorry to The Undertaker, only for The Undertaker to beat up to give freaking Paul London the last ride.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about the controversy, because one of the gifts had Canyon in it, which then The Undertaker with Canyon doing a bad freaking singing rendition, only for The Undertaker to brutalize and beat the crap out of Canyon.
Yep.
Now, for years, the rumor is that the reason they had Taker do that is because of Canyon's sexuality, which The Undertaker said no. Years later, Debunked said nope, that was not the case.
Yeah.
Because Undertaker said he can give a crap less about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, the last SmackDown, the Golem SmackDown before this show featured freaking Taker opening 2 crates, one of them being a puppy, in which he talked about that moment too, in one of his podcasts. I think it was on the Chris Van Vliet show that The Undertaker talked about that segment. And then afterwards, the Big Show attacked him. Afterwards, officially setting up this match. So yeah, that was a build to this match. What weird setup that was for this Big Show Taker match. And the match started, and we got to hear the old familiar tune. Well, it's the Big Show.
Yep.
You're like, no comment to that, knowing all the memes lately.
Yeah.
And then the Undertaker came out, played some mind games with Big Show by riding his motorcycle around the ring not once but twice. And then the Undertaker, and then after the interviews were over, the Undertaker actually went outside and brought the fight to the Big Show by giving him lefts and rights.
Yeah.
And the Undertaker went back into the ring, went back outside to jump on the Big Show or whatever, but the Big Show caught him, and Big Show caught the Undertaker and rammed him into the steel post.
Yep.
But then shortly afterwards, the Undertaker got advantage back on the Big Show, and he had Big Show over the ring apron, draped over the ring apron, where he hit a big leg drop on the Big Show, one of his signatures.
Yeah.
But then the Undertaker, at one point, and it was after that point, the Undertaker was like, oh, to hell with this shit, you know? So he grabbed a steel chair and took that into the ring with him, only for the Big Show to freaking punch the chair right into Taker's face.
Yeah.
So the chair was not even a factor here. Yeah, but then after a little bit of control, the Undertaker then nailed Big Show with a bunch of right hands getting back up. The Undertaker was in a brawling mood here for this show.
Yeah.
Then at one point, the Undertaker attempted to slam the Big Show, only for the Big Show to fall on top of him for a 2 count. Pretty much telling the audience and people watching is like, I'm too big for the Undertaker to lift up. He ain't gonna be able to hit any of his moves on me.
Yep.
Yeah, then Big Show got the Undertaker into the corner, and Big Show then started working on Taker's back in the corner by ramming his shoulder into Taker's back. And then impressively, Big Show was able to hit a suplex on the Undertaker for a 2 count, followed by 6 big, devastating elbow drops. Yes, I sat there and counted 6. Only for Taker to kick out of 2. Now, a normal person would not kick out of that.
Yeah.
Then the Undertaker, shortly after that, the Undertaker tried to battle back by giving Big Show haymakers, followed by Big Show countering into a bear hug. Which, yeah, Big Show bear hugs you. I don't think you're going to be getting out of it.
Yeah.
And then Big Show managed to hit a sidewalk slam on the Taker for a 2 count after that. Yeah, and then shortly after that, the Undertaker did try to battle back, but the Big Show ended up headbutting the Undertaker, which busted the Undertaker wide open.
Yeah.
And yeah, getting headbutted by someone whose skull is that big, they would probably, you'd probably be busted open too.
Well, I like how Taz said, "Oh, his animal-sized forehead."
Yeah, and then the Big Show delivered more massive headbutts to the Undertaker. Yeah, but then the Undertaker managed to get back up by hitting his freaking goddamn right and left punches to the Big Show in the corner. At one point, then the Undertaker then hit the Big Show with 2 splashes in the corner, back and forth. You know, another signature of Taker's in the corner.
Yeah.
And of course, then the Undertaker then attempted to do a choke slam onto the Big Show, but the Big Show didn't even budge. Signifying to the crowd, yeah, you ain't getting me up for a choke slam. I'm too big. All right?
Yeah.
But then the Undertaker shortly afterwards did manage to hit an old school on the Big Show. So there you go. And then the Undertaker then went for another choke slam Big Show freaking grabbed The Undertaker by the throat. Also for a chokeslam of his own, only for Taker to low blow the Big Show, followed by a DDT for a 2 count.
Yeah.
And then The Undertaker then attempted to do the last ride, which obviously Big Show blocked, resulting into a spine buster from Taker for a 2 count.
Yep.
So it's like, he can't do the last ride, he can't do the chokeslam. What else does The Undertaker have in his arsenal? Because if he can't do that, obviously he ain't tombstoning him, Big Show either. But then The Undertaker didn't put Big Show into a Dragon Sleeper, which freaking Big Show only got out of because Paul Heyman was up on the apron, distracting Taker. Yeah, and then the A-Train came out. Or, sorry, your boy A-Train came out. And then The Undertaker then hit his freaking, like, top rope dive onto both Paul Heyman and A-Train.
Yeah.
Then the Big Show did actually hit a chokeslam on The Undertaker, only for the pin attempt afterwards to be reversed into a triangle chokehold by Taker on the Big Show. And despite fighting valiantly to try to get out of this hold, the Big Show eventually passed out, which meant The Undertaker won the match by TKO.
Yeah.
But then, after the match, The Undertaker was looking to get revenge on Big Show some more, so The Undertaker took a steel chair again, and right when Taker was about to hit the Big Show with it, A-Train freaking interrupted, took the steel chair away from Taker, and hit a derailer powerbomb after the match to Taker, thus setting up the WrestleMania 19 rivalry.
Yep.
So your thoughts on this Taker-Big Show match?
It was good.
Not a bad freaking match for two big men. I wouldn't call it 5-star territory, but, I've seen worse Big Show and Taker matches, so this one, to me, kind of felt like the average big man versus big man type match.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord knows, you got what you expect. Obviously, you ain't going to see Big Show and Taker doing cruiserweight-like moves out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that begs the question, do you think Taker or Big Show uses banana butter?
No.
I just have to say it. I had to say it.
You mean nut butter?
Nut butter or banana juice. Oh, we love taking the piss out of this. Anyway, after the match, we go backstage where we see Eric Bischoff in his office, along with Chief Morley, or A.K. Val Venus. Remember that guy? That character?
Yeah. I hated Morley.
Oh, you were a big fan of that gimmick. You especially loved Val Venus when he was an RTC member.
Oh, I know you did.
No, that was you.
No.
Of course, Bischoff and Morley were backstage talking about the match stipulation that Bischoff was going to have with Steve Austin, how many people are going to interfere and have Bischoff's back, that Bischoff was planning for weeks at this point, when Vince McMahon interrupted them, saying that his vision for this match is going to be one-on-one with no interference. And if anyone interferes in the match, and I mean anyone, they will be fired on the spot.
Yeah, he was saying that to Chief Morley.
Yes. So, pretty much meaning that Eric Bischoff had no backup and it's strictly one-on-one.
Yep.
And with that, we go to our next match, which was supposed to be a 6-man tag team match, but we all know why that's not the case. So it was really Team Angle, which was WWE Champion Kurt Angle and the WWE Tag Team Champions Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, with Paul Heyman in their corner, and they were taking on Brock Lesnar and Chris Benoit in a handicap match.
Well, Stephanie you have to also say that they did a backstage segment of where they were talking and Edge was taken out of the arena
In an ambulance.
in his ambulance, and Stephanie was going to take care of that. And she said, "You guys made your decision. You guys need to go. Your match is next."
It's like, yep. So yeah, this was a handicap, 2-on-3 handicap match, and I believe this is the only time Brock Lesnar has ever been involved in a tag team match on a major pay-per-view.
No.
Maybe he was involved in one other in the UK, but that's all I can think about.
No, he was involved in a few more.
I know, but I'm just saying it's rare to see Brock Lesnar in a tag team type of match on a pay-per-view. He's mostly known for singles, triple threats, fatal four-ways, without a partner.
He was involved, I think, later in 2003 or 2004, somewhere when he made that fucking faction shit.
Well, I know freaking Brock Lesnar took place in 2 matches that were kind of like a tag team stipulation. This one and at Survivor Series in 2003.
Yes.
But other than that, there's really not too many Brock tag matches on pay-per-view. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why I was correcting. I'm like, though, there was a few that he was in, because they're like, oh, no, he wasn't in anymore. I'm like, no. I
just remembered Brock may have been the WWE champion by the Survivor Series of 2003, but he didn't defend the championship. He was actually a captain of a Survivor Series team.
Yep.
But we'll get to that event when we get to that event.
Yeah.
Anyway, shortly after the match started, Haas and Benjamin actually did work over Chris Benoit after a short exchange between Haas and Benoit, back and forth.
Yeah, but you have to admit, Chris Benoit's shirt was awesome. Toothless Aggression, the Toothless Army.
Exactly. Oh, and about that Toothless Aggression shirt, I'll take things you'll never see on sale on WWEshop.com today for $500, Alex.
I couldn't even find it on Amazon.
Yeah. Either people destroyed their shirts or people view them as collector's items where they're like, I ain't selling them. In this day and age.
I would like that shirt. That shirt was fucking cool as fuck.
But anyway, and then Brock got the tag and hit a bunch of shoulder tackles on Haas in the corner. In the corner, yep. Then Lesnar suplexed Charlie Haas a couple times. And this was before Suplex City, so he didn't go overboard with it.
Yeah.
Years before that. Then Lesnar press slammed both Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
At one point, and then shortly afterwards, Angle interfered and from the ring apron and applied a chin lock on the Lesnar while he wasn't even the legal man still standing on the apron. Yeah. Only for Lesnar to drag Kurt Angle into the ring, followed by a super kick from Benjamin to Lesnar, which made both Angle and Lesnar go to the outside.
Yeah.
And then Angle got the tag in shortly afterwards, after all that, and Angle applied a chinlock body scissors to Lesnar. A little preview of what was to come for the WrestleMania main event.
Yep.
But then Lesnar, after a good minute, maybe 2 minutes in that hold, Lesnar managed to power out of the hold by getting up to his feet with Angle still on him, and he sent Angle crashing into the turnbuckles. And I think Angle went on record right there and said that was a spot that re-aggravated his neck to where he had to have neck surgery.
Yeah.
A lot of freaking fucked up shit going on here at No Way Out. Knowing the backstories of these matches, right?
Yeah.
Then Benoit got the tag in, and Benoit hit back body drops on the Shelton Benjamin, then suplexed Charlie Haas into Benjamin afterwards, which I thought that was a creative spot because either way, that's taking out both of your opponents by making them hit each other either way.
Yeah.
Then Angle got in and hit a belly-to-belly from the top rope to Chris Benoit. And then Haas came in, hit a belly-to-belly to Benoit afterwards again for a 2 count shortly after that. I think it was at this point Angle wasn't really in the match I don't think Angle was a legal man that often, but because I'm pretty sure he felt his neck kind of fuck up. But he still put on a great performance nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Angle was once again the legal man. He put freaking Benoit into a front face lock at one point, rest hold.
Yeah.
And then Benoit managed to fight back by hitting 2 roll-ups and a lateral press, all resulting in a 2 count on the Angle.
Yep.
Which I thought, okay, they're going the back and forth skit. Yeah, and then and then freaking Haas and Benjamin hit their double team finisher on Benoit, resulting into a 2 count after Angle got the upper hand and tagged one of them in. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you know Haas and Benjamin's double team move where Benjamin leaps over Haas, hitting the back of the opponent that was draped over the ropes. I don't even know what they call it. I just call it their finisher move. I don't know the name of it specifically.
Neither do I.
And Benoit then battled back against Benjamin with knife-edge chops, right?
Yep.
And then shortly afterwards, Benoit was able to get a hot tag to Lesnar after Benjamin prevented that for so long, right? Then Lesnar started cleaning house by clotheslining freaking Benjamin and suplexing both Kurt Angle and Charlie Haas. Like, Lesnar was a house of fire. You know they were building him to be the next champion at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Angle freaking tried to do an Angle slam on the Lesnar, only for Lesnar to count into an F5 attempt, only for Shelton Benjamin to dropkick Lesnar, sending both Lesnar and Angle to the outside again. Then Benoit got back in, and then he attempted to suplex Angle, only for Angle to reverse it into the Angle lock. And then only for Benoit to reverse it into a crossface, followed by Angle reversing into another Angle lock.
Which reversed into another crossface.
Which was reversed into another crossface. See, it's like a little throwback to the Rumble encounter the month previous that we covered. I'm sorry, Benoit and Angle back in the day both had freaking good chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
But then shortly after that, Charlie Haas came in, only for Benoit to put the crossface on the Charlie Haas. Lesnar then came in and then hit Angle with an F5. And then Charlie Haas tapped out, meaning that the winners by submission were Benoit and Lesnar.
Yep.
Your thoughts on this match? Because this match was really used to lead up to the WrestleMania 19 main event with Angle and Lesnar.
It was good.
I thought it was a match of the night at that point. That's what I thought it was. That's how I thought. So I thought it was good. It was the match of the night for me at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a great match. It was a good match, great match, whatever you want to call it. That's my thoughts on it. And that's my thoughts on it, you know. But then we're going to move on to a match that wasn't so good. And that was for the World Heavyweight Championship, as Triple H once again defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Scott Steiner in a rematch from their Royal Rumble encounter. The match that I've been dreading to see. And briefly about the video package, right when they started it up, Triple H did cut a promo on Raw the night after the Rumble saying, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, there ain't going to be a rematch. And me, watching it now, I'm just like, I wish there wasn't. You were probably thinking that. But now you're using this as your revenge against me. And of course, Scott Steiner then challenged Triple H again. Which resulted in Scott Steiner facing Batista, and Orton interfered in that match. This was the night after the Rumble for their video package. And that's when Triple H actually officially formed Evolution with Flair, Batista, and Orton.
Yeah.
During this feud. Then Scott Steiner would go on to win the number 1 contendership anyway, defeating Jericho in a match leading up to this show. And that's when they played the whole Bring Me to Life theme song for this video package, which I thought was good, but The match afterwards was not, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, after both men made their entrances, Triple H surprisingly got a bunch of cheers, while Scott Steiner didn't really get that many cheers coming out.
Yeah.
And Triple H, and before they even did anything at the start of the match, Triple H and Scott Steiner went face to face, nose to nose. We all know Hunter's going to win that battle.
You wish.
Shit, we all know Triple H has the bigger nose compared to Scott Steiner.
Well, yeah.
That's why I said we all know Hunter's going to win that battle. Poke an eye out with that thing. And this match started off kind of sluggish and slow, but it started off with an arm lock from Steiner to Triple H, or from Scott to Hunter, whatever you want to call it, Steiner to Hunter, whatever, I don't care. Then you got to realize, too, Scott Steiner's ribs were taped. He was selling, like, rib injuries. Triple H's freaking thigh was taped, quote, injured. So Scott was going after the injured left thigh of Triple H. Yeah, both times in the corner. Yeah, and then Scott continued to work on the left leg some more, followed by freaking Steiner chopping Triple H in the corner.
Yeah.
Then after that, Scott then hit an elbow drop on a Hunter, followed by Steiner himself doing push-ups for intimidation instead of going for a pinfall. Yeah. It's like push-ups, jumping jacks, flexing. What is this? Is this wrestling or a goddamn bodybuilding competition?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Scott, once again, continued to punish Hunter's leg. He was working over the leg, including at one point afterwards, Scott hit Triple H with a suplex, the first one of this match. And then Scott then put a figure four leg lock onto Triple H. Right in front of Ric Flair. Only for Ric Flair to break freaking Steiner's eyes on the outside. Right? Thus breaking the hold, but then afterwards Steiner went after Flair on the outside a little bit. Only for Triple H to knock Steiner off the apron into the steel steps. When Steiner got back up onto the ring apron after chasing Flair.
Yeah.
And it was at this point... Oh yeah, the referee for this match was Earl Hebner, and it was a Triple H match, and of course the crowd was chanting, "You screwed Brett."
Well, he was also trying to get them to screw that match because Triple H kept pushing his buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, and then on the outside, Triple H threw Steiner into the steel steps. Yeah, and then once back in the ring, Triple H hit Steiner with a reverse neck breaker only for a 2 count. And then Scott battled back and got a neck breaker on his own. And then Triple H actually... Yeah, it was a neck breaker, reverse neck breaker followed by a regular neck breaker. Both times Triple H got 2. I don't know why Triple H had to repeat the same spot twice, basically. And then Steiner battled back by hitting a belly-to-belly suplex onto Triple H. God.
No.
I don't like talking about Steiner and suplexes. I've seen enough of them. Then Hunter reversed Scott's momentum by getting his boot up in the corner, up into Scott's face, followed by a roll-up attempt using the rope for leverage. Only for the referee to refuse counting. I'm like, God damn it, referee, turn a blind eye. I want this match to be over. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Scott battled back by chopping Triple H in the corner. And you know what this match could use? Another belly-to-belly from Scott Steiner to Triple H for a 2 count. Tired of these goddamn belly-to-bellies and suplexes. Yeah, and then Then afterwards, Scott then delivered punches to Triple H in the corner. And then shortly afterwards, Steiner dumped Triple H onto the outside, onto the barricade, which Steiner went out there and then proceeded to whip freaking Hunter into the ring post. Right?
Yeah.
And you know what this match could use? Another suplex from Scott to Hunter in the ring, resulting in another 2 count. So many suplexes and belly-to-bellies from Scott Steiner in this match that even Brock Lesnar would say, yeah, that's too much.
Uh-huh.
Of course, and then, of course, freaking Scott Steiner then put Triple H up on the top rope. And Steiner was able to freaking, was able to drape freaking Triple H over his head for look like a Super Samoan drop from the top rope. Maybe an inverted version. Resulting in a 2 count thanks to Ric Flair breaking up the pin.
Yeah.
And it was at this time that Flair freaking also waved signal to the back, and that's when a young Randy Orton and a young Batista came out, only for Steiner to take them both out at ringside.
Yep.
And of course, when Steiner got back to the ring, Triple H attempted to do a pedigree, only for Scott to block it by backdropping Triple H. Then Scott beat down on Randy Orton, who now entered the ring at this point. And looked like Scott Steiner couldn't be stopped for shit, but then referee got some senses and banned the other 3 members of Evolution from ringside. Tell them you gotta go to the back now, kicking them from ringside. And while the referee was distracted doing that, Triple H hit Scott in the head with the Triple H hit Steiner in the head with the World Championship belt, only for a 2 count. And then, shortly after that, Triple H then managed to hit a pedigree on Steiner for a 3 count, thus retaining the World Heavyweight Championship, and putting an end to my misery. Your thoughts on this garbage match?
It was good.
And what encounter would you say would be better, the Rumble encounter or the No Way Out encounter?
Neither.
Well, if you had to pick one, which one would you say is a better one out of the 2 garbage
Rumble
matches? Yeah, at least this one had a decisive winner. Yeah, and the crowd were cheering even though Triple H won. I think it's just because they now realize that the feud was 100% definite over. And that we can move on. Oh, yeah, but apparently the original plan was after this we were supposed to get Steiner versus Triple H Part 3 at WrestleMania, but due to the terrible matches that they had at the Rumble and No Way Out, those plans were scrapped.
Well, also, Steiner had gotten injured.
So, yeah, thank God we don't have to review a 3rd Triple H Steiner match from WrestleMania 19. I don't think I'd be able to take that shit.
Yes, you would, because I'd make you lucky.
Yeah, and if their plans, and if Vince McMahon's original plans actually came to fruition and they fought each other for a 3rd time, I would have had fun in this current day and age tearing that one apart too.
Uh-huh.
And of course, now we go to what I think is my personal favorite match of this pay-per-view, and that was your boy, Eric Bischoff, taking on Stone Cold.
No, he's your boy.
No, he's your boy.
No, he's your boy. You liked him in WCW.
No.
You liked him when he became a general manager of Raw.
No, I don't think so, boy. Eric Bischoff is your boy.
I don't think so there, Scooter.
But
you
anyway,
and your nut butter.
But anyway, the video package for this one, pretty much hyping up Steve Austin's return, and pretty much Vince McMahon firing freaking Eric Bischoff from the Raw general manager position because he did not sign Steve Austin after 30 days. In storyline, only for Vince McMahon to rehire Eric Bischoff back as the Raw general manager after JR appeared and said that Austin will be at No Way Out. And Vince McMahon was the one who made this match. Eric Bischoff versus Stone Cold Steve Austin here at No Way Out.
Yeah.
And Eric Bischoff and the Go Home Raw headed for No Way Out decided to take on Stone Cold Steve Austin's best friend Jim Ross. Then proceeded to break a freaking thing of concrete over freaking JR's head.
Cinder block.
With a cinder block, yes. Cinder block was broken over JR's head. Which was the reason why Jim Ross wasn't at commentary for most of this event, except for this match. So after the video package aired, Jim Ross came out. Jim Ross came out to do commentary for this matchup.
No one thought that Jim Ross would have been there. Jerry King Lawler said, "Oh, we hope you well." And then all of a sudden, we hear his Boomer Sooner theme song.
Yep. And then when Eric Bischoff came out to your favorite theme of all time, his "I'm Back" theme song. And let me make this clear: those goddamn freaking boxing glove, karate gloves, whatever you want to call them, those oversized gloves he was wearing looked ridiculous.
The martial arts gloves?
Yes, that looked ridiculous on Bischoff.
Yeah, well, he also was begging. He's like, Steve, let's make this right. I will formally surrender this match to you. And all of a sudden, you just hear Stone Cold's entrance and him coming and just whooping some ass.
Yes, I was about to say, Bischoff got on the microphone before the match started, before even Austin even came out. He goes, he tried to forfeit his way out of the match. He tried to forfeit it, tried to weasel out of it. But we know that wasn't going to happen. Right?
Yep.
Of course, Austin's music hit and the crowd erupted like they usually would. And then Eric Bischoff was like, Stone Cold's trying to get his attention during his entrance, after his entrance over, only for Austin just to freaking tackle Bischoff down and start proceeding to whip his ass. Hard. Yep. Right? And I can't even tell you the spots on this. Freaking goddamn Austin pummeled Bischoff with his right hands on the freaking mat. Then freaking Austin then freaking proceeded to freaking stomp a mud hole in Bischoff's ass in the corner, not once, but twice.
This is how it went. Stone Cold's music hits. Big ass pop. Bischoff's still trying to bang. Fucking Stone Cold's like, no bitch. Just beats the shit out of him. Right from pillar to post. Then drags his ass back into the ring. Beats his ass some more. Puts him into the corner. Stubs 3 mud holes up his ass. And walks him dry.
Yep.
Then Stone Cold Stunner, not once. Stone Cold Stunner, not twice. Stone Cold Stunner, not 3. Stone Cold Stunner, not 4. Stone Cold Stunner 5 times because he kept freaking putting up his arm. He's like, oh no, I'm not going to let this in. He's like, okay, 1, 2, whoop.
Yeah, but anyway.
Stone Cold Stunner. Whoop. Stone Cold Stunner. Whoop. Stone Cold Stunner. Then, at the end of the match, after he gets the pinfall, he fucking goes and again stuns him in the ring. Doesn't even do his regular beer drinking. He just beats his ass.
But anyway, like I was saying, continue on. I'm just going to go more in depth with your shit that you just said. You pretty much, because I jotted all this shit down. But because I want to talk about this match. After freaking Austin stomped Bischoff's ass in the corner once, Austin then removed those ridiculous gloves off of Bischoff's hands.
Yep.
Then Austin again proceeded to stomp a mud hole in Bischoff's ass in the corner.
Yeah, and walking it dry.
Of course, Bischoff did freaking rake Austin's eyes, and then tried a martial arts kick on Austin, but Austin sold it like you do on 2K24. He was just standing there like, really? Is that all you got?
You're never gonna let that down, are you?
No, that's a good opportunity to put that joke in. Every time I see it, I will put it. Yeah, Austin no-sold that kick. He just looked at him like, really? That tickled. Then that's when Bischoff tried to escape to the outside, but then Austin freaking chopped Bischoff on the outside up on the guardrail, including clotheslining Bischoff over the guardrail into the crowd.
Yep.
Then once Austin got Bischoff back in the ring, he hit a stunner on Bischoff. Then Austin went for the pin, but somehow Bischoff magically kicks out. Not once, but twice. I don't know how he did it. Did you?
He farted and made his arm fly up. He went,
Then Austin then hit another stunner on Bischoff, only for Bischoff to magically kick out by a miracle again.
Another fart.
I don't know how Bischoff's doing this. And yes, I am taking the piss because we all know Austin just raised Bischoff's arm up on his own accord. Right?
Yep.
And then Austin stands Bischoff once again, gave him the double deuces, followed by another stunner, this time for a 3 count.
Yep.
And Austin won the match. But then after the match, Austin just went back to the ring and gave Bischoff another stunner just for shits and giggles anyway.
He hit him once after the match, and then he went back. Went back again. Beat his ass some more. Hit him with the Stone Cold Stunner yet again, and then just walked out.
So your thoughts on this squash between Austin and Bischoff, with Austin obviously dominating Eric Bischoff?
It wasn't even a squash. It wasn't even a fucking match. It was just a beatdown. There was no wrestling. It was just literally a one-sided ass whooping.
I still say this Bischoff-Austin freaking beatdown was better than any Michael Cole match I've ever seen.
It was still just a one-sided ass whooping.
Well,
just like when he did it to Rikishi, it was a one-sided ass whooping.
Well, with Steve Austin, sometimes that's all you really need to get the fans happy.
What, a one-sided ass whooping?
Yes. Anyway, after that, and I thought it was great. I thought that match was great, or that beatdown was great. I should say it wasn't really a match.
It wasn't even a match. He didn't even stand a chance.
Exactly.
There was no offensive move from Bischoff at all.
The only effective move Bischoff had was that rake to the eyes, and that was it. That was all Austin was going to give him, because Austin pretty much sold that martial arts kick to his chest like freaking Bischoff just tickled him.
Yes.
And that's pretty much how you sell moves on 2K.
I will wrestle you in 2K yet again and do the same fucking thing.
Sorry, I can't help but make those jokes. You know I have to.
Yeah, because you hit me with a fucking move. I'm just like, boink.
You're like, didn't hurt.
Hit me again. Didn't hurt. Didn't hurt. Didn't hurt.
Anyway, that brings us to our main event of this show, which was hyped as The Rock vs. Hogan 2. This was their rematch after the WrestleMania 18 encounter the year prior.
Yeah, this was the freshly heel turn of The Rock.
Yep, and then
yet again.
Of course, they did show the video package hyping this matchup, which resulted in The Rock mocking Hogan and then fake apologizing to Hogan afterwards, which then The Rock spat in Hogan's face when they went for a handshake. This all saying that this all happened after The Rock said, yeah, I'll face you again anytime, any place.
Yep.
After the WrestleMania 18 encounter. And this match isn't talked about as much as their first original WrestleMania encounter, and we'll get to the reason why at the end. Of course, The Rock made his entrance. This was the first his first Hollywood Rock entrance theme, because on the SmackDown prior he came out to his original "If You Smell What The Rock Is Cooking" theme. So yeah, this was the first Hollywood Rock entrance theme song that The Rock came out to for this match. And then Hogan came out with his Voodoo Child instrumental version of that song, right? Which,
well, not in this match.
Yeah, well, it was like a dubbed instrumental version of it.
In this match, he came out to his original theme song that he had back in the day.
It was like, yeah, well, Hogan got a standing ovation during his entrance anyway. I didn't expect anything less. Yeah, and then at the start of the match, Hogan Hogan took control with right hands to The Rock. And then Rock was kind of stalling on the outside the whole time. After that, he goes, fuck this. Right?
Yep.
Then back. Yeah, and then freaking Hogan. Yeah, and then Hogan then went for a big boot on The Rock in the ring, but then The Rock countered it when he went back to the outside again. The Rock's like, okay, you gonna get in there, whip, coward, or you gonna stay outside?
Yep.
Yeah, then The Rock eventually went back to the inside and hit a clothesline plus a big right hand to Hogan, knocking him down.
Yep.
Then Hogan didn't manage to fight back, and he freaking threw Rock into the corner, followed by 10 corner turnbuckle. Actually, no, Hogan slammed The Rock's head into the turnbuckle 10 times. It wasn't the freaking corner punches, it was the freaking, like, headbutts to the turnbuckle 10 times. That spot.
No.
Yeah, and then Hogan did the Rock punches. With the last one, Hogan mocked The Rock by spitting into his hand before punching The Rock back to the outside of the ring. Little gimmick, this is a gimmick infringement match. That's what we're watching.
That's it.
Of course, The Rock got control by hot-shotting Hogan's throat over the top rope when Hogan went to attack Rock on the outside. And then that's when Hogan hit a rock bottom, that's when The Rock hit a rock bottom on Hogan for a 2 count. Yeah, and then The Rock noticed Hogan's bandana was laying on the ground, so he decided to mock Hogan by putting on Hogan's bandana.
Yep.
Then took Hogan's own weight belt off of him and proceeded to just whip Hogan with the weight belt.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that whipping, The Rock actually spat on Hogan's weight belt and proceeded to whip Hogan some more with it.
Yep.
Yeah, but then eventually Hogan got back up, countered The Rock's offense, and then freaking Hogan took the weight belt himself and started whipping The Rock with it. As in, you get what you dish out.
Yep.
And in case you were wondering, yeah, there are disqualifications in this match, and no, this crooked referee was not going to disqualify anybody.
Yeah.
We'll discuss why this referee was crooked afterwards.
See.
And then shortly afterwards, The Rock did hit a DDT on Hogan, putting both of them down, and The Rock then locked in a sharpshooter on Hogan.
Yep.
Bret Hart actually calls that Rock version of the sharpshooter the worst he's ever seen. Hogan managed to get to the ropes, only for The Rock to drag Hogan away from the ropes while still in the sharpshooter submission hold.
Well, because he was supposed to break it, and then Grenier just kicked the rope from Hogan's hand.
Yep. Yeah, and then Hogan looked like he passed out. The referee checked his arm. Hogan's arm dropped twice, but then Hogan managed to rise back up and break the sharpshooter submission hold on his own accord.
Yep.
Yeah, and then shortly afterwards, both men were on the outside where The Rock hit Hogan with a clothesline.
Yep.
But then Hogan did manage to battle back and actually got a steel chair and hit Rock in the back with it.
Yeah.
And then back in the ring, Rock hit a low blow on the Hogan while the referee was distracted. All right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then it was at that point that freaking Rock hit freaking Hogan with a spine buster, followed by 2 people's elbows for a 2 count. The second people's elbow he used to mock Hogan's pose.
Yep.
But then after that 2 count, Hogan actually hulked up, did his whole Hulkamania Hulk up routine, and then proceeded to hit Rock with a big boot, followed by a big leg drop for the 2 count. Suddenly the lights went out in the arena. And we're like, oh my god, the Undertaker's coming back out. But then I thought to myself, wait a minute, this was Biker Taker, this isn't it.
Yep.
And the lights came back on and the referee was down along with The Rock. And yeah, the referee is Sylvain Grenier for this match. Then Vince McMahon came out on the entrance ramp coming down the ring, and the fans obviously chanted, "You screwed Brett," at him.
Yeah.
And then the referee, Sylvain Grenier, handed the steel chair to The Rock. And then Rock proceeded to use the steel chair to hit Hogan in the face, or in the head, hit Hogan in the head, thus busting him open. And then Rock hit a rock bottom on the Hogan, and then the referee suddenly got up like nothing was wrong with him to make a freaking 3 count.
Yep.
And it was a damn, and as freaking Michael Cole said on commentary, this was a damn screw job again.
Well, Grenier literally threw the damn chair to The Rock.
Yeah. So the winner, once again, was The Rock. Just like in their first encounter, which is way more memorable than this one. Well, this one's memorable too, but all for the wrong reasons. That's why people don't talk about it. And then after the match, and after the match, The Rock celebrated with Vince McMahon and Sylvain Grenier, the referee. And then Vince McMahon then went back into the ring and revealed a shirt that he had underneath his dress shirt that said, "What you gonna do with nothing," written on the front with "Brother Sucks" written on the back.
Yep.
And then he proceeded to tear that shirt off like Hulk Hogan does.
Yep.
And that's how No Way Out 03 ended. As a little setup for the Vince McMahon-Hogan fight at WrestleMania 19.
Yep.
Your thoughts on this main event match between Hogan and The Rock in their second encounter?
Yeah, it was okay. Not as good as the first.
It's nowhere near the first. It's like if I had to compare the Hogan Rock original and rematch, it would be like, to me, it would be like seeing a movie, seeing like an original movie, and it was so great, and you think the movie was awesome that nothing can follow it. And then they do a crappy freaking sequel, and that movie sucked. That's what this feels like to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the 2003 No Way Out. Us reviewing all these matches. Now we get to go to what I always say every podcast review is our personal rating system. So, in the first match, Chris Jericho defeating Jeff Hardy in that singles match by submission. I would give that 3 3/4 stars out of 5. I thought it was a good match.
3.
So yeah, you're about on the same thinking pattern list. And here we got William Regal and Lance Storm defeating Kane and RVD to retain the World Tag Team Championships. Scary situation with Regal aside. I can't give this match no more than 3 out of 5.
2.
Yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5. It felt average to me. Then we got Matt Hardy defeating Billy Kidman to win the Cruiserweight Championship. I thought that was kind of a good match and it told the story it needed to tell, so I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
I guess 3.5.
Yep. And The Undertaker defeating The Big Show by TKO. I give that one 3 3/4 out of 5.
4.
You just enjoyed it a little bit more than I did, but we're kind of on the same thinking pattern for that one.
Well, that was the start of his Hellgate submission.
Yep. And then we got Chris Benoit and Brock Lesnar defeating all 3 members of Team Angle in that 2-on-3 handicap match, which I thought was a match of the night for this event. I would give that 4.5 out of 5.
5.
Kind of the same thinking pattern here. And then we got Triple H defeating Scott Steiner to retain the World Heavyweight Championship in their Royal Rumble rematch. I only give it friggin' 1/4 star out of 5.
3, just to spite you.
You enjoyed it way more than I did. And this match sucked. Obviously, that one was the weakest match of the night.
It's a good match.
Yeah, I just didn't really enjoy it that much. Maybe it was because I was having flashbacks to that Rumble encounter, but either way, for me, it only gets a quarter of a star out of 5. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Eric Bischoff in that fucking one-sided beatdown. I give 5 out of 5. Best squash match ever.
I'd say 20 out of 5.
You'd say 20 out of 5. Either way, we think that was a good encounter.
Yeah.
Or a good beatdown, so that's why I said 5 out of 5. Obviously, it's not the match of the night by any means. It's just, seeing Bischoff get squashed always makes me laugh.
It wasn't even a squash. It was just a fucking one-sided ass whooping.
Yep. And in the main event with The Rock defeating Hulk Hogan after that whole screwy finish, I give that match rating about a 3 out of 5.
Another 2.5.
So yeah, about the same. So that being said, my final grade for the 2003 No Way Out event, in my opinion, is a C.
I'd say D.
Yeah. And if I was only going to recommend one match from this show, I would recommend, if you can watch Chris Benoit matches and not think about it with a power of hindsight, I would say the handicap match would be the way to go. Or if you don't want to see a Benoit match, just watch the beatdown that Eric Bischoff got at the hands of Steve Austin.
Yeah, well, I'd say, rather than a D, it would probably be like a C or a B.
Yep. So now that we're done reviewing the 2003 No Way Out, which was your choice, we are going to go to my choice. Next week, we will be reviewing In Your House Buried Alive. So until then, I will talk to you all later. Peace.
Deuces.